Now I know Shawn's got some more information.
Yeah,
right?
you've been kind of keeping an eye on the national picture, and what's some of the reporting that you're seeing?
So Georgia does not look that great for Kamala Harris right now, but there are still a number of counties in the metro Atlanta area that are still out, including DeKalb County, which is a heavily Democratic African-American suburb, where she could get a massive margin. So none of that is in. But there's also some parts of rural Georgia that are yet to report too.
But you're saying it looks good for Trump right now there, even though DeKalb is not in?
It looks probably a little bit better. I'd rather be Trump than Harris in Georgia.
Yeah, we were talking in the break a little bit about the New York Times is doing some unofficial prognostication, I guess you could say. They have a graphic that shows right now they're predicting, or they're saying that it's trending a certain way.
Yes, they have they call it their needle, and it's based on whenever votes start coming in from different counties and jurisdictions, so that they can say which way they think it's going. I mean, sometimes it might be right, sometimes not, but you know, we just have to wait until the raw votes come in from each of the 159 counties in Georgia.
Gotcha.
Are you seeing any surprises yet so far tonight?
Not really. I mean, I think that going into tonight, that everyone thought that the best chance Kamala Harris had was to do the blue wall states of Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, plus the one electoral vote in Omaha, Nebraska.
Right. That's a separate area of Nebraska.
Yeah,
right?
because Nebraska awards its electors differently than every other state but Maine, where you get 2 votes for winning the state, and then you get 1 for each congressional district. So even though Nebraska is very red, the Omaha area has been trending more blue. So that would give her exactly 270 electoral votes.
Yeah, it's going to be a night of anxiety for Harris supporters tonight, because it's probably going to be, you know, the later part of the evening when that blue wall starts to come in.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm seeing right now for Pennsylvania is you're getting some early vote that is getting processed, and it's disproportionately going to be for Kamala Harris. So you know, she's jumping out to a big lead right now, but a lot of the vote that comes in is not going to be nearly that favorable, because you have a lot of votes from Philadelphia and Pittsburgh have already came.
Incredibly, there was, like, I heard 83 million early votes. That is unreal.
Yeah, what do you tell your students at UB when you're talking to them about just the historic nature of presidential elections and turnout? I mean, every candidate obviously wants to get the max number, but from what we're hearing, this year's been pretty unprecedented.
Yeah, it actually probably is likely even more than 83 million, because a lot of states, or I don't know how many states, but several states actually allow for your absentee ballot to be counted if it's postmarked by Election Day and arrives within so many days.
Now, what does this mean for down ballot, for a lot of people that are down ballot? It's important that they have this type of a turnout, right? It definitely helps a party?
Yes, I mean, because one of the things that we've seen as the country's become more polarized is that people are just a little bit less likely to split tickets than they used to be.
Really?
So you know, we have very few congressional districts out there that let's say Joe Biden won and has a Republican representative and vice versa. So that number has been going down considerably over each election cycle.
And of course, we have the other houses. We have the Senate and we have the House of Representatives, which is, you know, how is that? Do we have any idea how that's looking tonight? I guess if it's looking better for one party than the other, it would help, of course.
Well, Republicans have already picked up 1 U.S. Senate seat.
West Virginia.
Yes.
Correct.
Which was completely unexpected.
That was a given.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Probably Joe Manchin wouldn't have had much of a shot, I think, even if he would have ran for re-election, because that state has become so red.
Ohio's the one that a lot of people are looking at also, with Sherrod.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what we're seeing in Ohio is, you know, in 2020 we were talking about the red mirage and the blue mirage in some states because of some votes getting counted that were more Democratic, Republican. In Ohio, it's more Democratic votes getting counted early in the process.
So that's the other thing we've been looking to find out, if that early vote is going to be, you know, what it's been in the past, traditionally much stronger for the Democrats. That may not be the case this time.
It just depends state by state, because you know, different state parties have different areas where they tend to target one way or the other.
So with that one pickup in West Virginia, which was a given, I believe the Republicans need, what, 1 more, and they would tip the scale in the Senate, right?
They need one more.
Right.
But if the Republicans win the White House, then that's the ballgame because the
They have the vice president as a
Yes.
tiebreaker, right?
Right. It's really fascinating, you know, to see that so many of the long-held traditions are kind of being broken, and it's a new era. And with a new electorate, this is really kind of an exciting time to be a political scientist, I would
Yes.
think.
Yes, very much.
Are your students engaged in this also? Let's talk about the youth of America right now.
Yeah, I
you're at Buff State,
No, no,
UB, I'm
UB.
sorry, UB, and I wonder, are the kids really engaged in this?
It does seem like that, especially when I would talk to kids in class and things. So one of the kind of a little bit of a funny story is last week, whenever Joe Biden had made some different comments, I had mentioned him, and some of the students were like, "Really? I forgot he was still around."
So it's been 3 months, I think, right?
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, no, it's definitely been an interesting time in politics. So many unprecedented things have happened, and it seems like the rule book's kind of getting rewritten in a way.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Well, great.
Thank you, Shawn.
Thanks very much. We appreciate that.